And we're in. Oh my god, who thought this was okay? This already guarantees our win. But it's not about winning, it's about sending a message. So why don't we just add in 3-star Cyrene into the mix? Yeah, it gets pretty stupid. Hello everyone, today we're gonna do some devious things. This strat is not only stronger than the adventuring trafficking setup, but also way easier to replicate. Now, I actually came up with the strat, but don't have a name for it yet, so if y'all got something funny, please do share. The full run is in the description with timestamps and some annotations if you want to follow step by step. Unlike the adventuring strat, it's only about an hour and a half and not 8. So with that said, let's get right into it. To start off, let's understand what the heck is going on. Now this soul strat of course revolves around Superwolf. In 4.2's Currency Wars, she's basically Cyrene 2.0. If you get a 3-star version of her, it's an instant win, just like you saw in the intro. So of course, the question becomes, how do we get 9 copies of 5-cost Silverwolf? Before we get into that, I first gotta explain her unique bond, Top Player. When Silverwolf hits 2 stars, she gets to choose between hacking components and ascending to the next rarity. These hacks, while they are pretty cool, actually completely break the run. While they give some cool effects, you only get to choose this the first time Silverwolf becomes a 2-star. As such, we'll choose to ascend every time. But we will see one of these components later in the video though. Now, if you've tried this yourself, you've probably realized that even if you do ascend her to 5 stars, you're still in with a 1 in 10 chance with 1% odds of getting a copy. So getting 9 is pretty much impossible in a normal run. And that's where the cheese comes in. This strat will require you to reroll your runs, which I know sucks, but the good news is that there's only 3 RNG checks, with only 2 of them really mattering. Even better is that both of the important ones happen at the start, so you can retry without wasting too much time. Now, once you get it, the run is in theory completely over, assuming you played well and don't get completely screwed by RNG. The first check is the investment environment, where we're taking old reliable, long-term gains. We're going to be refreshing a lot, so this saves us a massive amount of money. The second core piece is the investment strategy, and luckily for us, it comes in 2 flavors: Procurement Specialist, Prismatic, or Gold. Here's how it works. Once we trigger 5 or 7 refreshes, the leftmost unit in the prep area forces the shop to show only their rarity. So if we place any 5-star unit there, we suddenly turn our 0.5% chance into a 41% chance at seeing 5-star Silverwolf. So this goes from being impossible to easily abusable. And as you can tell, this strat is way simpler than the stupid adventuring one. Low-key, y'all should go back and watch that video real quick to see the sheer amount of hoops we had to jump through back then. Now, you may be asking, can't we do the same thing for Cyrene? Yes, you can. However, Silverwolf is significantly cheaper and easier to do for quite a few reasons. Firstly, we can access her 3-star version as early as playing 2. Second, we get a free copy by ascending the purple version. And third, hacking components. Now earlier, I did say getting these basically breaks your run, but that's for the blue and purple version. However, once you make a 2-star yellow rarity Silverwolf, you have a chance to obtain the Data Copier Max. Unlike the previous versions, because there's no option to ascend any further, it's now just a free reward. Now, this item gives you a free 5-cost Silverwolf, and after 2 battles, it gives you another copy. But that's not all. Anytime you obtain or buy a Silverwolf, there's a 30% chance to get an extra copy. So even if the shop trolls you, this alone can net you an extra 2 to 4 copies. And at this point, we cannot mess up. But this is also our third RNG check. There are 6 possible hacking components, and you're shown 2 each time. So realistically, we're looking about a 1 in 3 chance to hit it. Now, even if you don't, if you've made it to plane 3, you still should have the money to get 9 copies. So that's the entire setup. And now comes the other important part. How do we actually get through the mode while managing the dupe and also our money? Thankfully for us, we get access to and are incentivized to use the most broken bond in the mode. Unlike the original adventure teams which struggled to survive, look at this picture guys, this is what you're expected to clear with. However, with Elation, because its damage is so high, we can comfortably clear the entire mode, but more importantly, consistently reach Plane 3's shop node. So this next section is going to cover how to abuse the system so we can maximize the interest we earn. RAHHH is a ridiculously broken mechanic. Now, it actually has a lot of mechanics, which I'll just show on the screen for a bit. But to summarize the important stuff, RAHHH spawns with 3 random basic equipment, which we get access to more of them at higher bond levels. Now, what we can do is create equipment for RAHHH to wear. Now, what's crazy is that RAHHH shares his stats and of said items to the entire Elation roster. So if we had 5 Elation units, which by the way is really easy to get, if we put 3 chainsaws on RAHHH, it's suddenly equal to 15 for the entire team. This alone is OP as hell. However, it also counts the unique traits of the items. Now, some items which involve ults are literally useless, and there's of course some bad and also decent items. Then, there's Firestorm Surge. When any ally attacks during the RAHHH instant, it counts as a stack. So every time Yaoguang ults or it's their turn, we're getting 7 stacks or 56% on-field strength every time for the entire team. However, as expected of Elation, it is RNG. We have a 50% chance for bad items, 25% for decent, and 25% for broken. Firestorm, Chainsaw, and Star Cleaver are the items we're looking for. If you get these during the run, the combat notes are gonna be a breeze. Mind you, this is all with trial DPSs, so if you own any of these characters, they should just obliterate the enemies. For the final thing you should know about RAHHH, they can give you either a normal or golden trash bag. We actually want the Dookie version because we can actually speed up our scaling by making Elation emblems. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Moving on though, let's quickly go over the team you should be aiming for while clearing. Elation is super flexible because of how low the requirements are. Assuming level 7, we're aiming for all 5 Elation units, a sustain of your choice, and Tribi. As for your DPS, they're honestly all pretty OP in this mode. From testing all 3 trial versions, I'd say that 3-star Evanescea is roughly equal to 2-star Sparksy and a 1-star 5-cost Silverwolf. Because of that, I'd personally prioritize Evanescea and Yaoguang since they're the most accessible. But if you actually own any of these DPS units, just focus on them, as their builds will be way better than the trial versions and will easily outperform them. As for items, the only thing of note is giving Yaoguang the Perpetual Engine or anti-grav boots. Besides that, RAHHH takes care of the rest. So with all that out the way, here's a summarized version of how the run should look. Starting with Plane 1, as per usual, we're cheesing its entirety with a pivot team. 2-Dot with Asta, Sampo, or Kafka can clear the entire plane with little health lost. The last 2 slots can be flex, which I recommend either to Astral Express or to Elation units for that extra damage. However, if you own break units, they're also a great pivot team variation. Just make sure to never mix break and dot, as they completely screw each other over. As for the shop nodes, the priority would be Silverwolf into the gems, into good items, and worst case scenario is just the highest cost. Now moving to Plane 2, we're ideally sitting around 70 HP and 60ish coins. At this point, you should have Evanescea at 2 stars and hopefully 2 2-star Yaoguangs. Now depending on your luck and how many Elation units you got, if you high rolled, you can just swap into the full Elation team as early as 1-7. But if not, just stick with your pivot team until 2-3 shop. At node 2-3, we're aiming to have at least 1 copy of Purple Silverwolf. From here, you can just play normally and maintain a high amount of interest until you hit Plane 3-1. Your board around this point should look pretty similar to mine. 3-star Evanescea and Yaoguang, a couple of 2-star purple units, and ideally a yellow Silverwolf. Now technically, you can start duping here, but I highly recommend waiting for your next investment strategy. In my run, I hit the God option, Efficient Decision, which gives you infinite rerolls for 45 seconds. So when we combine it with Procurement Specialist, we're about to see so many gold units. Just make sure to have Silverwolf on the bottom left when this happens though. Now, my run should have been finished at this point, but the funny thing is, I didn't see a single Silverwolf. 6 golden shops, and I lost all the 50/50s. So basically a complete waste of time. Thankfully, right after that, 2 Silverwolves appeared in my shop, letting me upgrade her to 2 stars. If you're able to get the duper here, it's GG. But regardless, we gotta get to 3-3 shop. At 3-3, I was able to pick up another Silverwolf that also copied itself, putting me at 6 out of 9 of Exodia. At this point, you should have so much money that hitting 3-star Silverwolf is inevitable. Worst case, you can sell your team for another 60 to 70 coins. But after a few more refreshes, boom, 3-star Superwolf. From there, just take some time to clean up the board. And after that, we're aiming to get every other 5-star. Prioritize Black Swan and Cyrene, and after enough rerolls, your board should end up looking something like this. So finally, we've beaten Currency Wars. Just make sure to increase the enemy's HP to 1000% and choose the prismatic difficulty in the encounter, because they're gonna need all the HP they can get. Now, for the most important advice, which is crucial to run, it's to not put Bronya on field. She simply does too much damage and has infinite turns. Without Bronya, our run looks pretty normal and our damage looks something like this. If not, and yeah, that's the entire video. Hopefully it was both enjoyable and informative. Besides that, thank you guys so much for 10k subs. It really means the world to me. Seeing that many subs and also views tells me I'm either helping people out or making something entertaining, and it really does motivate me to keep it up. Now, this video is focused on Currency Wars, so I don't want to take too much time going over that. Now, as for the future, by the time this video goes up, we should only be a few days away from Mort Maxing Blade, so I'll definitely be covering that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and good luck with your runs. Peace.